We're following a developing story here in the Valley. There are still many questions surrounding a report of a missing man out of Wahpeton, North Dakota. Early this afternoon, police released the name of the man, Troy Yarborough, and the names of the people he was last seen with, Jason Jensen and Kayla Westcott. Police say the two are people of interest in the case after human remains were found at Jensen's farmstead near Hitterdal, Minnesota. We checked, and Jensen was not listed as an inmate at the Clay County Jail. Valley News Team's Joseph Ojo traveled to Wahpeton to find out what neighbors are saying about Yarborough's disappearance.
Residents in the Rainbow Court apartments who knew Troy Yarborough tell us he was a very friendly individual who lived in the complex, but that no one had heard from him or seen him in over 3 months.
Well, he used to live here, and then he moved out, and then he'd just come visit a few friends now and then.
I know the police were here this morning. They took somebody.
This woman who wished to not be identified told us while a lot is still unknown, she wasn't surprised to see officers at her apartment complex early Friday. She mentioned that there were several times that police would stop in to make a drug bust, but she wouldn't mention if Yarborough was a part of any drug-related incidents.
Rumors get started so fast, you know. I mean, what's said to one person, by the time it gets to the next person, who knows what was really said.
But there were two of them here today. A Wahpeton Police and a North Dakota State College of Science Police.
We checked out Yarborough's last address and found that the apartment had a notice of abandonment on the door. The letter stated that the landlord had taken ownership of the property because the tenant had failed to answer or return phone calls, verifying that the premise was being occupied. Wahpeton Police also told us that they could not mention if the arrest that took place early Friday at the apartment complex was connected to Yarborough's case, and mentioned that the investigation was ongoing. In Wahpeton, Joseph Ojo, Valley News Live.
The human remains found at the farmstead near Hitterdal were sent to the Ramsey County Medical Examiner for identification. The investigation is ongoing, so stick with Valley News Live for the latest. It's not the type of scanner call you hear on a regular basis. Two males climbing a cell phone tower in South Fargo. The call came in about 8:20 this evening for police to head over to 40th Avenue South and South University Drive. The men had started climbing down by the time police arrived, but officers still requested that a fire truck be on standby to make sure the two males got down okay. Officers canceled that fire truck a short time later when the males got down on their own safely.
Our primary concern was the fall or the elevation. It was a secure facility. It's fenced off, and they bypassed that fencing to gain access to the towers.
Once the men had climbed down the tower, they were arrested. The patrol sergeant told us while it may seem unusual, he has seen other incidents like this through the years where people trespass and climb things they shouldn't. Rain is moving through parts of the region. Let's find out from Hutch if any of it will turn severe overnight. Hutch?
All right, as we take a look at the region, we are seeing the best activity or the most widespread activity well to the west. And here in the Red River Valley and points east, a nice and quiet summer-like evening. Western Stutsman County has seen abundant thunderstorms passing throughout the evening. Right now, the Cleveland and Medina areas seeing more thunder showers with lightning and some small hail. This is pushing north at about 10 miles per hour. To the north of you in the Towner County area between Candu and Rock Lake, we have scattered thunder showers. These will be ending now as we go through the next couple of hours. Temperatures as we rise and shine tomorrow in the 60 to 65 range for most of us. Andrea, I'll have details on what we can expect as we head through the remainder of your weekend here in a moment.
All right, thanks, Hutch.
There was no, we're trying here, let's try something else. They were so quick to push them out the door.
A local mom is frustrated because she can't find childcare for her son with special needs. This after he was kicked out of multiple daycare facilities. His mom believes it's because of his disability, and she reached out to us on our whistleblower hotline. Valley News Team's Veronica Marshall looks into the legal rights of parents and daycare providers and has the answers.
Try being 7 and having that mind where it goes to the worst possible scenario.
Jamie's son has anxiety, ADHD, and bipolar disorder. He takes medication and sees a psychiatrist. Despite that, Jamie says her son has been kicked out of several daycares because of his disability.
It just went straight to, I can't handle him. he needs to get somewhere else. At what point can I say, no, this is my right as a parent?
Unfortunately, there aren't any policies that say that they cannot tell a child that they are excused or that they're being told not to come back. There aren't any laws or rules like that in North Dakota presently.
But there are federal laws. According to the Americans with Disabilities Act, child care centers cannot exclude children with disabilities unless they pose a direct threat to others or require a fundamental alteration of the program.
It's very, very difficult if a child's presentation of their disability is more behaviorally based. Providers really do struggle with how do they ensure that that child is safe, as well as all of their other little friends that they're taking care of.
In cases like Jamie's, where children have aggressive behaviors, the ADA says daycare providers should work with parents to see if they can change the behavior. But if that doesn't work, the child can be told to leave. Jamie says she didn't get that good faith effort, creating more stress and anxiety for a child that's been through enough.
Going through that extra stress in daycare is just, again, another stress that shouldn't be there.
In Fargo, Veronica Marshall, Valley News Live.
We did some research and found out there are options here in the Fargo area for families like Jamie's. Local advocacy groups like Child Care Aware and the Freedom Resource Center work with families and daycare providers for free to help kids with disabilities get the support they need. You can find more information about those programs on our website, valleynewslive.com. A Fargo man says he was scammed after being approached by a mobile auto repair duo saying they could fix his car for less money. And while some work was done on his car, he contacted our whistleblower hotline to make sure others don't spend their money on what he calls an incomplete job. Brian Lee says a couple of men with a car and sign that read ASAP Mobile Auto Body said they could fix all the rust on his truck for $1,100. But before they were finished, they left town. Lee says he couldn't get a hold of them, but then ran into them a month later, this time with a different car that said Dent Patrol. The men said they would need more money to fix his car a second time, but Lee refused. He says he wants others to learn from his mistake.
To be honest with you, I know it's expensive to go to the auto body places, but at least an auto body place is honest about their prices, and what they're going to do.
Lee says the mechanics would only take cash. The Better Business Bureau advises against paying in cash, saying if you use a credit card, you could at least dispute the charge if the work is unsatisfactory. A North Dakota judge ruled that nearly 500 pounds of marijuana seized during a traffic stop cannot be used as evidence because a deputy did not have a good reason to be suspicious. B. Thor of Wisconsin and Nia Lee of St. Paul, Minnesota were both charged with possession of drugs after being stopped on I-94 near Jamestown back in January. Stutsman County Deputy Matt Tom testified he made the stop because the vehicle was going 2 miles per hour under the speed limit. The suspects were from St. Paul. The driver was sitting too rigidly and did not look at the deputy when he drove alongside the vehicle, and no luggage was visible. The judge said Tom's behavior violated Fourth Amendment rights regarding unreasonable searches and seizures. A debate on whether or not avocados are healthy for you. We hear what Consumer Reports experts have to say, still to come tonight. But first, a glimpse at the final moments of a young man's life before a YouTube stunt gone wrong.
You're watching Valley News